Well, just to be forewarned, I'm going to probably say a few things on this video that may not necessarily be of the popular opinion, but I can guarantee you that you won't hear it anywhere else. And at the end of the day, the channel is called Kevin for a reason. Now, with that being said, I want to welcome everybody back to the channel. Thank you for your continued support. And if you're still a subscriber when this video is over, that's cool. And if not, then it just means that this isn't necessarily the right channel for you. No harm, no foul either way. I appreciate every single one of you. And that is why I'm creating this video. This is why I create content. There's a variety of reasons why I create content, but mainly because I want people to have access to the knowledge and information and the education that I feel as though is lacking hugely, as it is very apparent in the content that I see being created, in the comments that I read from viewers, not just on my videos, but on other videos on YouTube. But with that being said, I'm not an idiot. I'm not as dumb as I look, and I'm not naive, as well as I'm not extremely naive. But at the end of the day, I realize that most of the comments on most videos are typically 1% of 1%. They're not the majority. If you ever look around and see how many subscribers a channel may have, and then look at how many views per video that creator gets, and then look at how many comments they get, it's not a lot in comparison. And then if you actually drill down on the comments themselves and the context and the quality of the comments, once you weed out the emojis and, thank yous and, firsts and thumbs ups, there aren't very many real comments with substance for the most part. And then we get into the trolls. But I think the trolls vary. The trolls vary whether they are specifically just out to ruin people's day. They are an evil force just by nature or by hire, because that's a job too, by the way. Or they're just misinformed and they lack this knowledge and education. And most importantly, they lack the self-confidence within themselves that either someone has never provided them with any reaffirming assurance that they should have, or has tried to take it away from them in a variety of ways. So here we are, folks, and here's my sweat-stained armpit on my t-shirt here. So I got a message the other day. I got comments, I got messages, but I actually, yesterday I was having a conversation with a client, and they said, Kevin, I watch your videos, I watch your channel. I'm worried, I'm scared, I'm trying to prepare, but for the most part, I'm not really worried about the bank systems collapsing. I'm not worried about any of that because I don't have any money. I don't have any money to lose. So those things don't scare me as much as not having money, not having the ability to make money. And I think that this is probably more widespread than the comments lead to believe, because you have to realize I myself am one of them. I watch YouTube and I rarely ever comment on creators' content. And if I do, it's really just like on actual creators creating and teaching how to be better creators. So I rarely ever really comment on just a basic video, because odds are if I'm watching just a regular video, I'm watching it for research and using it to further improve my own ability to gain reach, gain subs, gain views, earn revenue. So watching YouTube for me is more of a job than a hobby or entertainment. But at the end of the day, if you do what you love, you'll never work another day in your life. But for those who are looking to make money through YouTube, or just finding ways to make money by watching YouTube and getting ideas and information and tips, side hustle, passive income stream opportunities from creators, well, here we are, folks. And if that's you, I encourage you to stick around because I've actually created a spreadsheet here that I'm going to show you guys in just a moment, going over how this can be done. And I'm going to speak from what I use the most, which is YouTube. Granted, there are a variety of other ways to accomplish these goals, but I like YouTube a lot, and YouTube helps me further accomplish the goals because of YouTube. I'm getting paid to make money, if that makes any sense, okay? This is not a video of retaliation or clapping back or any of that nonsense, but it just made me think about how far off people really are from understanding. And I felt compelled to share this information for those interested in learning and understanding the truth. So I want to touch on a comment here. And it says, it's a video I posted up yesterday, I think. All them nice new cars behind you are all financed big payments. That's why they all live in a rent complex. Spent too much money for cars, now can't buy a home, have to rent. No way, cars are a waste of money, but most like to show off. So is renting. So there's a lot going on here. This is not me trying to be rude, it's just me being real. And if you had an opportunity to meet me in person, you'd realize that there's no sugarcoating this, okay? This is what you get. I don't even know if I'm an acquired taste, but let's just start off with the grammar and punctuation. Joe, you don't seem like a very intelligent person, okay? Now, maybe you were in a hurry, maybe you were speech to text, I don't know, but you don't really seem like an intelligent person. But you also seem like a very uninformed, uneducated person. But this is a generalization typically made by those who want to make themselves feel better in some kind of way by looking down on others and having negative opinions about them. Now, for me personally, I don't give a shit. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you live. I don't care what you drive. I don't really concern myself with anything that ain't got nothing to do with me, okay? But I can break this down for you and just give perspective, because perspective has a huge part, plays a major role in what I'm going to show you later about how much money I make, how much money you can make, and how to actually get it done. All of them nice new cars behind you are all financed big payments. A generalization of saying all the cars are financed and big payments makes zero sense whatsoever. I mean, perhaps maybe Joe can't afford one of the cars seen behind me, but that doesn't mean that the other people can't, or they're financed, and if they were, with big payments. It's a really ridiculous generalization that really has no bearing whatsoever on anything, because there's a lot of reasons that go behind people's financial decisions. But then it also goes on to say that that's why they all live in a rent complex. Well, not necessarily, because ironically here, most of the residents here, we're not included. Most of them here are military. So they rent because they're going to possibly be deployed at a moment's notice and switch bases. It would really make no sense to buy a home and be active duty. That just makes no sense. Spent too much money for cars. Now they can't buy a home. Have to rent. And this is actually really hard for me to read because the grammar and punctuation is terrible. If you're going to speak and state that there's an excess or too much, or in this context, spent too much, it's TOO. TOO. Spent too much money for cars. Now can't buy a home, have to rent. Well, I mean, honestly, me personally, I wouldn't buy a house right now. I wouldn't buy a house right now. I wouldn't be rushing to buy a house right now based on the home prices and the interest rates and the potential direction that the housing market could be going. Additionally, like I said, a lot of these folks are military, so that really doesn't make any sense either. But with that being said, I do know for a fact that a lot of people here are actually like us. They moved to the area, they weren't quite sure, and they were trying to decide where they wanted to live permanently or somewhat permanently. And what we have here was a really great luxury. They call it luxury. What do they call it? I don't know what they call it. It's like living at a resort, basically. I don't know. I don't remember that exact terminology that they used, but it's like living at a resort. And I actually know one guy here. He was driving a Lexus LC 500. Yeah, it was a Lexus LC 500. I think they start around 120 grand or something. And we got to chatting, we got to talking, and they were here for probably about a year as their home was being built. So he's left and he's moved and now he's in his house. So he came down, he rented an apartment, he leased an apartment, he has custom home built, and he left. And then with that being said, to live here, you have to qualify. And to qualify, you have to make a considerable amount of money. So there's criteria involved as far as credit score and income. And all I can say is the people here make a lot of money. That's all I can say. You can't live here if you don't make a lot of money. No way cars are a waste of money. I don't think cars are a waste of money because, you need transportation, especially if you think about it, as cars being used for businesses. Like a lot of people I know do rideshare and Uber and Lyft. Well, it's kind of hard to run a business with rideshare without a car. So that's like the exact opposite of cars being a waste of money. But most like to show off. So is renting. I'm not really sure if renting is showing off or if renting is a waste of money. But again, there are so many pieces to this that need to be broken down, but it all comes down to everybody's particular situation. And these blanket statements, folks, I may end up deleting this comment because not because like I feel like any certain kind of way about it being on my video. I don't want other viewers to see this comment and misinterpret it and miss the message, okay? And misunderstand and miss out on opportunities because of simple-minded people like Joe here. Joe, please don't procreate, okay? Like I said, folks, I'm just going to bring you guys the truth. I'm going to keep it real. If you're interested in learning how, if you're interested in making money, if you're interested in increasing your savings, if you're interested in learning how to invest, if you're interested in building businesses, if you're interested in improving your financial situation and preparing for the future of this economic crisis that we're in, a recession, job loss, uncertainty, high prices, inflation, well, folks, let's have that conversation. If you're not, get the fuck out of here. Now this one here got me. This one here got me because this just was a reminder and a confirmation of small-minded, simple-minded people that don't understand. And the reason why that they will continue to be poor, continue to be broke, and continue to think this way is because they don't know any better. They don't have it in them to wake up every single day and tell themselves, I can and I will do better. I can and I will improve. I can and I will accomplish what some people think is impossible. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says stop fooling people with the BS that you keep talking about 10, 20, 30, $40,000 a month. If the majority of people were making $40,000 to $50,000 a month, and they certainly wouldn't need your advice, I think you're right and you're wrong. Okay. So if you were making $40,000 to $50,000 a month, you probably wouldn't need my advice, but you probably wouldn't ignore it either. Like I said, I watch YouTube for research to further improve what I do and how much I make. And people who have figured out how to accomplish these levels of income typically aren't stupid. And they know that they'll learn more by listening than by speaking. So I'll learn from anybody. You know, I think a lot of people have value, and I want to learn from as many people as possible. You know, I can learn from the richest person. I can learn from the poorest person. And I would say a vast majority of my subscribers probably don't make anywhere near $40,000 to $50,000 a month. But in contrast, the people who do make $40,000 to $50,000 a month probably don't spend a lot of time watching YouTube. But if they do, they're of a small minority of a collective group of people, and the content that they watch probably doesn't get a lot of views. But they're super highly concentrated on a specific audience in that wealth category. See, this is why I question a lot of these videos that you put on here. Man, if the average person is making $32,000 a year and you're trying to convince them or convince me that somebody's going to go from that to making $50,000 a month, cut the BS. So now I'm a little confused, because you say that you question a lot of the videos that I put on here, but why do you keep watching them? I think that there's a small percentage, there's a small fraction of you that actually wants to believe, but there's a larger percentage, there's a greater portion of you that is afraid to try. And that is where you'll inevitably end up always being poor, being broke, never reaching your full potential, never reaching greatness, if that is what you're after. The statement, the quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. You know, Squirrel Tribe says this all the time. If you can't see yourself going from $32,000 a year to $50,000 a month, then you can't. You can't. Will you do it tomorrow? Will you do it overnight? Will you do it next week? Will you do it next month, next year? I don't know. But I can guarantee you this: if you don't try, it won't happen. It won't happen. But I will say that for those who have done it, when they look back on it, they're like, wow, that was fast. It seems like just yesterday I just started doing this, and now I'm making crazy money. But if you never start, if you never try, it will never happen. Me personally, I will attest to that. I make jokes with people. I'm like, man, I'm never going to win the lottery. Why? Because I don't play it. If I played it, maybe I'll win. But I'll never win because I don't play it. You see what I'm saying? So if you never try, if you never start, how could you ever reach the finish line? And, you know, with that being said, $50,000 a month is a great goal. You know, that'd be $600,000 a year, which is easily attainable. But maybe if I'm making 32 grand a year, my first goal would be to make $5,000 a month. And then I'm making 60 grand a year, you know? And then after I made $5,000 a month, I'm going to go to make $10,000 a month. You see what I'm saying? And then odds are, if you're making $50,000 a month, you're probably saying, yo, I'm going to go make $100,000 a month. And I would not discourage you against making that happen. Personally, I don't believe that you're making that kind of money. Quite honestly, I don't think anybody else on this channel believes that you're making that kind of money, as most of the people that are truly making that kind of money are not going to be wasting their time to pretend that they care to teach somebody else to make that kind of money. Folks, I don't care what you guys think about me and what I do and what I make. That really should have no bearing whatsoever on the information that's being provided. But me personally, I would rather take the knowledge and wisdom and education being provided by someone who's actually done it than someone who hasn't. But, you know, we can compare W-2s or tax returns if you want. It's not really, you know, a measuring contest. But the simple fact of the matter is that I pretty much do what I want whenever I want. So you kind of have to have a certain level of income to be able to do that. Okay. But I don't care what people know or think about me because, you know, despite viewers giving my videos views, the viewers don't actually pay me. We're going to talk about that later. Like I said, I got a whole spreadsheet that I built for you guys. The viewers don't actually pay me, okay? So just put that out there. But I think that I'm starting to sense the emotion here. And it says that people who make that kind of money are not going to be wasting their time trying to pretend that they care to teach somebody else to make that kind of money. They're not going to give a shit about anybody else. So this tells me that you feel like, or at least you've experienced where someone else or several other people didn't care about you. Or you feel as though they didn't care about you. And that may have been true, but you're going to have to get past that if you want to grow, you know, because you're going to miss opportunities because of this attitude, because of this opinion. When someone genuinely walks up to you and tries to offer you a huge opportunity, which may have actually already happened, and you're gonna turn your nose up at it because you feel like no one cares. It's actually ironic because if you watch Dave Ramsey and you pay attention to what he says and you go through his baby steps, once you've accomplished all the baby steps, the final step is to give. It's just that. It's to give. There's a lot of people out there that do it. I'm not going to name their names. You guys know he's one of them is, you know, Jimmy. He's on YouTube. He gives away a lot of money. And if you don't know his name's Jimmy, then you don't know who I'm talking about. But that's the thing. He does it because he wants to. He's reached that pinnacle of his life financially, emotionally, and spiritually. And he's decided that he's just going to give. And there are so many people out here like that you have no idea. But once you reach that pinnacle, it's like some uber wealthy that typically make the news headlines are only worried about further increasing their wealth. But then others are like, you know, I don't need all this. I want to bless somebody else. I want to bless others. But if you don't allow that to happen because you have a bad attitude, you have a negative attitude, you're never gonna see anything different than what you really want to see, which is negativity and people not caring to teach. There's a million videos on YouTube that will show you how to do it, how to make money in a variety of different ways. If you have that opinion, then you're just, you know, you're doomed. Now, I will say that these videos on YouTube do kind of leave out an important component, and that is believing that you can do it. Because there's a million videos on here showing you how to achieve goals and earn money. But if you don't think you can or you don't try, then you never will. And it says here that to me, when I watch these videos, I see a guy that's trying to fool people into thinking that he's very rich and makes all this money while he's really just leasing a low-end Porsche, living in an apartment. Again, folks, I don't really care what you guys think about me and my, you know, appearance or whatever. But to say low-end Porsche just doesn't really make sense, you know? It's like an oxymoron. But at the same time, it was a value play. I didn't buy it brand new. I bought it used, certified pre-owned. I didn't buy the base. I didn't buy the S. I bought a Macan GTS. I didn't buy a Macan Turbo. I saved a lot of money buying it pre-owned, certified pre-owned. Side note, the certified pre-owned warranty is great. I've had no issues whatsoever. Nothing catastrophically wrong, but the warranty is taking care of any little gripes that I have with the vehicle at no cost, no deductible. Great so far. Get loaner vehicles. It's amazing. My next Porsche will be pre-owned as well. for a variety of reasons, mainly because I'm not super interested in the newest models. So odds are my next Porsche will be a 991.2 GT3. And if you know anything about the Porsche line, the Porsche brand, that kind of like, in my opinion, is the best GT3. Now, granted, the 992 GT3 is technologically more advanced, more power, but it's also bigger, and the sound is quite different. And so I have a little bit of a crush on the 991.2. So yeah, my next Porsche will be pre-owned. But to say low-end Porsche is just an oxymoron. And then when you think about it, how many people could qualify to at least even lease a Porsche? What I do, how much I make, all these things really make no difference for you guys and you achieving your goals financially and taking advantage of the opportunities that exist that I'm sharing with you here or that are being shared with you anywhere else. These are just roadblocks that people are putting in place to convince themselves that they shouldn't try because their brain tells them their brain tells them, or maybe somebody told them, or maybe a bad parent told them, or, a terrible friend told them. Just saying. I see nothing wrong with living in an apartment. So, so be it. Will I always live in an apartment? Don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But odds are what it costs for me to live in this apartment is more than what most people pay. And you can't do that if you don't make money, is all I'm saying. It's not a brag or anything like that. Seriously, let's cut the BS. I see so many channels on this YouTube that shows people that are constantly trying to pretend and fool other people that they can make $100,000 a month. When I'm sorry, this is just not reality. I'm sorry, it's BS. And again, this comment never actually made it because it was held and then it was deleted. But the problem is when people read these comments on other channels or that maybe get by the filters, then they too will start to believe this crap that it's not possible. And that's the problem. Because if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Okay. I also wouldn't necessarily come out the gate trying to make 100K a month, but I definitely would come out the gate trying to make money, knowing that if I could make money, I can scale it, and then I can scale it eventually to a point of which this is possible. And again, I've created a spreadsheet that I really want to show you guys, so stick with me here. 80% of everybody in this country are barely surviving, and I'm sorry, but I don't believe for a second that there's going to be somebody that's going to come up on one of these channels that's going to show us how you can go from making $30,000 per year to $30,000 per month. So now I'm kind of wondering if this person was hired to leave these types of comments on videos to further discourage more people from attempting to realize and reach their potential, okay? There are outside forces out there, in my opinion, that I believe really want to see so many people suffer. And I'm not one of them. And now I'm starting to believe that maybe this isn't so much just someone who is unsure and lacks confidence, but really just wants to see other people hurt and maintain levels of poverty and being poor and not trying to improve themselves. And that's not me. That's not good. I don't care how much you made. I don't care how much you want to make. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. I can introduce you to people who have made millions and are now broke. So to think that you can't go from being broke and barely making a lot of money to making a lot of money would literally be like saying you can't go from being rich and making a lot of money to being broke. See what I'm saying? Anything is possible. Enough is enough. Seriously, what's the old saying? If it sounds too good to be true, it definitely is. And I will be the first one to tell you folks, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Do your own research, make your own opinions, but I would seriously encourage people to at least try. At least try. I would much rather say, I tried and it can't be done, or at least I couldn't do it. Because the inverse of that would be, I tried and they were right. And that worked and I made a lot of money. So I want to show you guys something here, and it's called Social Blade. And Social Blade is kind of funny. I'm going to type in Kevin247, which is my YouTube handle. And it's going to pull up my channel here. And I want to show this to you because it gives a little bit of insight and information behind YouTube analytics, views, earnings. And I want to provide some clarity on this because the information is inaccurate at best, but in a good way. Okay. So it says here, I got 444 uploads, 69.1 thousand subscribers, 8.4 million views. Country is US, created February 10th. So my channel is a little over 1 year old, folks. And I tell you right now, it's been an interesting year, but if I had never started, I would never be here. With that being said, that information is relatively accurate. However, I actually have more than 8.4 million views, but I've deleted and made some videos private. So I'm probably closer to like 12 or 13 million views, but I got rid of some of the videos. Reason why is because I'm continuously working to learn and understand the algorithm and test. And we can talk about this in Patreon if you guys are interested in developing and building out your channels and gaining better reach, and also adjusting your audience, because that's going to have a lot to do with what I'm going to show you later on the spreadsheet. Shows my total grade, which is B, which is good. I don't even know if I've ever seen an A, but regardless, I don't even really know what that means. Let's see if it tells us. Total grade is the visual representation of Social Blade rank based on the ranking against our whole database. So it's arbitrary. It's got some ranks here. It shows how many subscribers I gained for the last 30 days. And estimated monthly earnings. And this is what I really wanted to discuss with you guys, because I'm going to show you some things here why this is inaccurate. My estimated monthly earnings show that I can make anywhere from $279 a month to $4,500 a month. It's a wide range. It's a wide range, which is wildly inaccurate, by the way. And it also shows here that I actually had a brief period where I lost, or I had less than 2 million views, which maybe I'm assuming this is the point of time where I removed some videos and made them private, because how else would you get negative views besides that time where YouTube started taking views away? That was a weird time. But the main thing here is the revenue, because $279 a month to $4,500 a month is such a wide range. But the beauty of it is it is wildly inaccurate in a good way. So I want you guys to look at this and use Social Blade as a tool, so that when you review other channels and you're comparing yourself against other channels and trying to decide what you want to do and how you want to do it and what audience you want to attract and the niche you want, this can give you ideas of what you could earn. But let's just go with a general rule of thumb that you'll earn a considerable amount more than the maximum amount shown for the estimated monthly earnings. I'm just going to leave it at that, okay? Wildly inaccurate. All right. So what I want to do here is I'm going to pull up this spreadsheet and show you guys. I made a quick spreadsheet because I want you guys to understand this is not about me. It's not about how much I make. This is not about the car I drive or I lease or the apartment that I rent or any of that other nonsense. This is about you, okay? This is about opportunities and abilities and what is possible. I just made a basic title, which was how to make $10,000 a month working from anywhere and using just your smartphone. Now, we've got a few scenarios here, and the first scenario is what I would probably consider more like a minimum wage job. You're going to grind really hard. You're going to work a lot of hours. You're going to make very little money, and you have to continuously do that over and over and over again just to get by. So if we wanted to make $10,000 a month grinding, and this is why I watch YouTube. This is why I study YouTube. This is why I research. This is why I talk to creators. This is why I've developed the network. This is why I do what I do. Besides the fact that I really enjoy it. I like making content. And seeing the work, the analytics and the inner workings and the algorithm. It's just so interesting and fascinating to me. But in order to accomplish this goal, you would need to average about 3.6 million views a month. Take into consideration that I probably have about, let's just say 9 million that it shows over a year. So that would be quite a feat, quite a task to accomplish 3.6 million views a month, but it could be done. It could be done. Averaging CPM of $5. Now, this is very important, which would produce a gross revenue of $18,250 a month. However, YouTube, I'll just pull this up so you guys can see it. I just want you guys, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I'm gonna show you guys, okay? So YouTube shows you monetization, and I'm gonna pull this up here. It says YouTube advertising revenues. YouTube will pay you 55% of net revenues from ads displayed or streamed by YouTube. YouTube will pay you 55%. So if you made $18,250 gross, YouTube's taking 45%. You're left with 55%, which is $10,000, a little over $10,000 a month. Mission accomplished. Bravo, hooray. F that. I am not busting my ass to get 3.6 million views a month to make a $5 CPM to only make $10,000 a month. I'm not going to do it. Why? Because I've actually been down that road before, and there are way more ways of being extremely more lucrative and profitable by doing less work. Allow me to show you. And I'm not saying doing less work because I'm lazy. I'm just saying doing less work because then it allows me more time and freedom and flexibility to do more of what I want to do and more of other things that make more money. So, full disclosure, why do I want to make content teaching people how to do this? Simple. One, I'm not, some strange ogre who's just only in it for himself. And two, YouTube's going to pay me to make this video. Plain and simple. You'll see a banner ad on the bottom. You might click through a few skippable ads along the way, especially if you made it this far in the video. But I get paid to do this, plus a few other ways. So I'm going to show you that in just a moment. So the next option here, scenario or method B, is literally doing the exact same thing. But get this. We're going to boost our CPM up to $10 instead of $5. We're going to boost our CPM up to $10 instead of $5. Our gross revenue is roughly the same. Our net revenue is roughly the same. We've accomplished the goal of $10,000 a month. But the beauty of it is we only needed 1.8 million views instead of 3.6. This is important, folks, because the higher the CPM, the more you earn per view. So it doesn't even come down to how many subscribers you have. It doesn't even really come down to how many views you get. In my opinion, what matters most is how much you get paid per view. It's just my opinion. It's my take, okay? But why stop there? Why stop there? Because there's so much more opportunity and potential out there that very few people really mention. So we're going to move over to method C. And method C, this is where things get real interesting, folks. We're going to post and we're going to shoot for an average of 500,000 views a month. 500,000 views a month. So if we go to shoot for 500,000 views a month, that means that we would in 12 months, theoretically accumulate 6 million views, which is less than what I did in my first 12 months. So I feel as though this is relatively easily attainable, okay? Based on having done it, based on Social Blade providing you this proof. But we're going to boost our CPM up to $28. Why? I want to get paid more. I don't want to work for minimum wage. I don't want to work for $20 an hour. I don't want to work for $30 an hour. I want to work for $100 an hour. I want to work for $200 an hour. If I'm going to work, I want to get paid the highest amount possible for the work that I do. That's my CPM. Cost per mille. Cost per mille. Okay? That's what the advertisers are paying to advertise on my videos on average. But even that number isn't quite what people think it is, because that number in relation to RPM, which is revenue per mille, that I've actually had instances where I can make the RPM match or exceed the CPM. And that's when you really start making money. But at 500,000 views, remember we started at 3.6, then we went to 1.8. We're not even cutting that in half. We're going down to 500,000 views at a $28 CPM, producing a gross revenue of $14,000, which will only net you $7,700 after YouTube takes their 45% cut. You're like, well, Kevin, I'm not making 10 grand a month. You're right, you're not. You're not making 10 grand a month posting YouTube videos because you didn't quite make it. But this is why I use YouTube, because YouTube allows me the ability to leverage the platform to make more money in a variety of different ways: diversity, security, and cash flow, multiple passive income streams. So here we go. I'm going to make $7,700 after YouTube takes their cut. That's my 55% cut. However, I'm also going to generate another $3,500 a month through my commissions through affiliate links. I have a variety of affiliate links. And not only that, I'm also engaging in paid sponsorships and paid promotions with various brands, which brings my grand total for the month to $18,200. So I've posted less videos, I've gotten less views, I've made more money per view. I made less on YouTube than I did with 1.8 million views or 3.6 million views. But at the end of the day, at the end of the month, I'm actually making more than $10,000 a month. I'm making over 18 grand a month, because I've incorporated all of these full circle, and I'm maximizing my earning potential opportunity by driving my CPM up and engaging in a variety of different diverse income producing opportunities that net me 18.2. But why stop there? No. That's where we add the miscellaneous category, which can include a variety of different things out there, folks, all leveraged off the strength of posting that one YouTube video that will exist in perpetuity and continuously pay you until you remove it off the platform. This is passive income, folks. YouTube content creation and leveraging social media and user-generated content and affiliate marketing links and paid promotions and sponsorships. This is passive income. After having done the work, but now I don't have to do it again. I'll make 18,000 plus for the first month, but the video exists, and guess what? I'm going to make money again the next month off the same work that had already been done. Bringing my grand total after my miscellaneous ads that are third parties outside of YouTube content creation, ad revenue, affiliate links, and paid promotions and sponsorships, I'm now making over 30 grand a month with method C. But let me show you my method. Because realistically, on average, which is a little low right now. We had some things going on in December, which I'll tell you guys about later. But right now, on average, I'm at about 1.5 million views a month. Let's just say between 1 and 1.5 million views a month. But my CPM has gone up considerably. Why? Well, knowledge, education, testing, yada, 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 continuously learning and understanding. So now my gross revenues have shot up to 64K. And after YouTube takes their 45%, I'm earning over $35,000 a month through YouTube video AdSense revenue alone. Then when you add on the actual affiliate commissions that I earn through all the various and varieties of affiliate links that I use, not just on YouTube, now that adds another 10.5. Incorporating more than likely maybe 1 or 2 paid promotion sponsorships, which kind of gives you an idea how much those are worth right now for the ones that I do. That's another 10. So that brings my grand total for the month from what people see on YouTube, really about $56,000 a month. But then if you add in the miscellaneous third party, which is in further development, so that's why it's a little lower than or just a little bit higher than method C. That's being built out, which when it's done and complete, I'll let you guys know, and I'll show you guys how to build your own. But you tack that on, and that brings, you know, the grand total to over $70,000 a month. And to be 100% honest with you, I'm still not making as much money as theoretically I really could be making in comparison to other creators in my circle. So there you have it, folks. If you got questions, you got comments, you want to know more, links in the description, hit me up, contact me. Please, folks, if you've made it this far in the video, even if you're not interested in doing any of this or even attempting to try to do this, do me a favor, do everyone else a favor, and don't discourage others from attempting, okay? And if you do want to try, or you have tried and you're not necessarily seeing the success and the results that you would like, by all means, feel free to contact me.